Will King Namor's mad war end up enveloping the entire world? Well, let's hop into the pages of Invaders issue number 5 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as the comic opens up, we get treated to another flashback to World War II. In fact, we even get fun little mentions of Toro and Jacqueline, other World War II era heroes. Once again, the focus is on Namor and his relation to the other heroes. In this particular chapter from his life, we see a situation wherein the team had to go on a stealth mission, and Namor felt that he couldn't properly contribute because of, well, his alien appearance. The big difference being, hey, here was a time he actually wanted to belong instead of a time that he actively distanced himself from everyone else. Of course, if you've been paying attention up until now, you know that Namor's mind isn't exactly his own anymore. A rogue piece of programming left there by Professor Xavier has gone corrupt, and because of that, Namor is seeing enemies in every shadow. Now, back in the present, Captain America goes to check on Winter Soldier. He had been knocked out in the previous issue while trying to stop Namor and his forces from gaining a bunch of valuable bomb parts. Bucky may not have been able to stop the robbery, but he did learn that Namor has people inside the United States Navy. Ooh, must fight urge to make in the Navy joke. Now, Namor's mole has a name, Roman Peterson, son of Nay Peterson and grandson of one of the Invaders' old war buddies. The truly sad part is Roman's mother doesn't even know what's going on here, and the Human Torch has to lie directly to her face. Which I suppose in retrospect makes him a liar, pants literally on fire most of the time. Eben springs into action to try and back up the rest of his friends, but Namor is already waiting for him, and they have themselves a pretty epic little fight, one that reminds us that the original Human Torch versus Namor was actually one of comics' very first ever crossover versus who would win type fight. It's made abundantly clear that this situation is spiraling out of the control of the Invaders, and because of that, they're forced to turn to the Avengers for help. Iron Man obviously gloats, saying that he always knew that it would come to war with someone as out there as Namor is. Perhaps the strangest part, though, is that when the Avengers actually return to Atlantis to once again try and apprehend Namor and his forces, they find the entire city is encased by a powerful force shield. Almost as if they already knew that the United States Navy was going to fire on them before they actually did, and that's because, well, Roman actually isn't the only Atlantean spy inside the Navy. He has co-conspirators. And despite Captain America desperately trying to warn Admiral October, a character we met in a previous issue, the coup ends up going off without a hitch. The missiles get fired anyway, which of course leads Captain America to put two and two together that Namor actually wanted America to shoot at Atlantis so he could have plausible deniability when the Atlanteans relaunch their counterattack. Steve only now also truly understands the depth of mental degradation Namor has been suffering with right now. Even when he was at his most brutal, he loved his homeland, he loved Atlantis, and now he's actively firing on it. And while the Avengers were thankfully already on the scene to stop the missiles from hitting Atlantis, they are unfortunately not quick enough to stop Atlantis from firing back. Which means as the comic winds down, an entire cityscape ends up getting nuked with Captain America looking on in abject horror. The war has indeed come home. And so that was Invaders issue number 5, everybody, and once again I thought this was a very satisfying chapter in what is becoming one of my favorite miniseries of the year from Marvel, and that's saying something because there's been a lot of good miniseries this year. If I had to sum up this story for someone who hasn't been reading this far, I would say it's a tragedy, a Greek tragedy for Namor. He keeps falling deeper and deeper down a hole he keeps digging for himself. And honestly, this late in the story, I wonder if he truly can be redeemed. It seems that the Invaders, Captain America, Bucky, all of them are truly out of forgiveness for him. And the fact that Zdarsky goes out of his way with all the flashbacks to really make you sympathize with Namor, where he's coming from, his pain, his unique perspective, just makes it hurt that much more. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. Really solid reading. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on when a brand new video drops. And hey, if you really like what I do, you might want to become a patron. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and they can do so for as little as $1 a month. Enjoy video and audio versions of the Comic Multiverse podcast and other videos before they drop here on YouTube. Heck, interact with me closer than ever before. You get all this when you become a patron. And with that, thank you so much again, everyone, and I will see you all again next time.